Is gold likely to be a good investment in 2020? That's the subject of the article below. Now, to summarize the article, number one, of course, nobody knows how well gold is going to do. Nobody can time the gold market for sure. However, number two is long-term gold has always been a bad investment. Even gold bugs admit it merely holds its value over time. Yes, there are good times and bad times for gold, but if you look at a very long-term chart, basically gold is where it was 2,000 years ago during the times of Christ, adjusted for inflation. So to give you some statistics, long-term gold has only done 0.5% at most above inflation, whereas stocks have done 6.5% above inflation. Even government bonds have beaten gold long term. And as I said with point number one, nobody can predict when gold is going to do well. Now, number three, and most importantly, there is no correlation between the gold price, 0% interest rate, and QE. Now, if we go back in time, 2000 until 2011 was a great time for gold prices. It was one of the best times in the last 100 years for gold prices. But the very best time for gold in the last 15 or so years was from 2000 until 2008. Then from 2008 till 2009, when the economic crisis was at the worst, despite the fact that gold was in a bull market, the price of gold actually fell. So from 2000 till 2011, even though the overall trend was higher, the economic crisis brought down the price of gold. It went from 1,000 to about 690 at the worst of it. It only went up once it was clear that actually the world wasn't going to hell. And then it went up for a few years until 2011. Then it fell despite all the QE and whatever, 0% interest rates. And it only started to rise 1 or 2 years ago after many years in the doldrums when the Fed was increasing interest rates and actually winding down some of the QE. And then this year, again, it was doing well until COVID struck. And in March 2020, during the worst of the crisis, it was government bonds, short-term government bonds that went up, not gold. And again, just like 2008 and 2009, it's only been once it became clear that the very worst situation isn't going to happen, that the last month or so, gold has started to go up a little bit again. So the idea that gold is a safe haven bet is just not true. When people get incredibly worried, they don't go to gold, they go to short-term government treasuries. If people are a little bit worried, maybe gold can go up. But when they're incredibly worried, like 2008 or March 2020, gold does not go up. Just look at how gold reacted during the worst of this crisis. So gold might do well in 2020. It might do well in 2021. It might go down. But if you hold gold long term for 30 or 40 years, almost for sure, you're not going to beat markets.